Aren't we all related?
Okay, because she was bad. All right.
Damn.
Damn. Turning it over, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. My name is Tanya Evans. I'm a professor of law at the University of New Hampshire School of Law, and also the chair of online technology and intellectual property and technology online programming, and also the facilitator for our blockchain, cryptocurrency, and the law certificate program. It's actually a certificate program that's a non-JD specific track, and we have some really exciting things that are coming up. I'd love for you to follow me at IP Prof Evans. That's IP Prof as in Professor Evans on Twitter, and also Crypto Smart ESQ. And we'll be pushing very widely and very soon a lot of information about that. This is all about empowerment through information and through community, and so it is exciting that we have women on virtually, if not all. I like to be specific because I am an attorney, but I don't know the actual statistics. But what I see here, both in the audience and also on virtually every panel, the presence of women. So we don't need to necessarily carve out a panel for women, but we take this opportunity to honor and celebrate three illustrious founders of crypto or blockchain-based projects in particular, to lift them up, raise them up. One of the descriptions started with the word challenge, and I'm not going to start with a challenge. The opportunities that these sisters have created, what they're working on now, where they're going. We can certainly talk about some of the challenges that any founder would have, but I also like to look at it from the point of intersectionality, that a black woman is both black and a woman, but a woman who is a black woman experiences racism differently because of the intersectionality of both race and gender, and experiences sexism differently because of the intersectionality of race and gender. In my distant past, I'm also a former professional tennis player. So I speak to you in the context of what happened to Serena recently. I can barely speak about it, and I know very well. I played on scholarship at Northwestern. I played professionally for 4 years. I played at the U.S. Open as well. Wow. So this ain't new, but we have to see it in a different light, in a different context, so that we can continue to empower ourselves. So there's so much going on in the world that we need to lift each other up in general, but people who are making power moves in particular. To my immediate right is Tavonia Evans, my play cousin. Evidently also related to Florida. We know Florida. She's going to tell you about Guapcoin. I've gotten to know her quite well online, so it's a pleasure to actually be on the dais with her. To her right, we have Kalani Cook. Yeah. I'm not familiar with your project, but I very much look forward to hearing about some of the things that you've been doing, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us as well. And to her right is Daisy Ozim. Am I saying it correctly? Oh, yeah. Excellent. I've also gotten to know you pretty darn well online as well, and we have a Telegram group called Women of Color and Blockchain. I had a conversation with Lindsay Nuon. She's our fearless leader who was not able to attend today, unfortunately, because the weather delayed and then eventually canceled her plane in. So she sends her blessings. She's one of the hardest working women in blockchain that I know. She's unbelievably dynamic, and so we are missing her. I hope that she's looking at the live stream. What she's done for us, we have almost 90 members in our Telegram group now of women who are doing amazing work in all areas, from law and founders, folks on the fintech side, healthcare, and everything in between. And it's been very empowering to make sure that we are all connected, that we all participate in these conferences, and we continue to build what is this initial layer of the ecosystem that we're so excited about. So how I want to start is to give each of these ladies the mic so that they can introduce you to themselves and their project. Maybe spend about 5 minutes each teeing up in general who you are, how you fell down the rabbit hole, and what you're working on to solve, and then we'll come back with some more pointed questions.
No 5 minutes. No problem.
Well, we used to have an hour, but evidently that got whittled away with all the introductions and the reintroductions. So we're going to reclaim some of our time. Thank you, Maxine. Hashtag Maxine. But, you know, we can't put together a panel. What time, tell me this, what time do we end? I do, because as a law professor, on time is late.
How is it be? What time do we end?
10.
Oh.
You're killing
Well, it
us.
was nice talking to y'all.
Yeah. Here are our
Thank you
websites.
for having us.
Lord.
today.
2 minutes and then we'll do closing comments.
Oh, man.
It's rough. Yeah.
They should be having 20 minutes. Women in blockchain.
I'm, I'm actually on the next panel, and I'm actually happy to see my 10 minutes from that next panel for there. I spoke yesterday. You don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from them.
Right.
So I'm on the next panel. I'm happy not to participate so that these sisters can go forward.
Oh, thank you.
Ain't nobody gonna take the mic. Go ahead.
And it's terrible too because I had to record a video for a founders thing and they gave me 2 minutes and it took me 3 hours to do 2 minutes. So y'all gonna have to pop. Anyway, my name is Tavana Evans and I'm the founder of Guap Coin. I've been in technology for almost 20 years. I'm a tech OG. I am the mother of 8 wonderful children. Thank you. This is my second startup. I'm also the founder of a platform called Safe to Meet, for which I hold a patent for. So I've been doing this for a very, very long time, but my passion has always been my community and how I can use the technology skills that I have to make an impact on the community. So pretty much I walked away from Safe to Meet and I formed Guap Coin. I've been very impacted over the last year traveling, going to different communities and seeing the impact of gentrification, which I admit I live in Georgia. I live in the suburbs. I'm from New York originally, grew up in the city. I don't get to see gentrification anymore like I saw when I was growing up. But to see the impact it has today and to see the disappearing businesses and communities that we have, it was very, very disheartening to me. So that kind of brought my cause way back to, where it needs to be. Made it real for me, I guess you could say. Definitely made it real for me. But what Guap Coin is a decentralized platform. And this takes a whole lot of education to explain because we talk about blockchain, we talk about cryptocurrency, but we don't really know the differences between what we're seeing. We don't know the difference between a stored value currency or the difference between a security token or a blockchain, et cetera. So I'm just going to try to make this as plain as possible. But as a decentralized platform, this gives an opportunity for others to come in and build on this platform, others to input into this platform, others to take this platform and own as their own, which is what my hope is for Guap. I built Guap to be a platform that will belong to the community, not specifically for myself. Now, however, over the last couple of years, it definitely is something I've had to push for myself because this is something that we have to awaken the community to. And I'd like to say, I guess one more thing as well, is that what has gotten me this far is, I think, is my spiritual base. I'm also a life coach. I'm also a priestess of a Yoruba tradition. And without that, I don't think I would have made it this far because this has definitely been a solo journey getting here. And this is something that most of us, we get involved in these projects and we don't make it. We may quit. We may want to quit. And we don't have the support, especially as women. As women, we kind of walk into places invisible. And the issue is not so much in our community. The issue is not so much in the other community as it is in our community. I can go all over the world. I'm welcomed everywhere. I've been everywhere. I've been in Glamour magazine. I've been all over. But within our community, we're not educated on cryptocurrency or blockchain. We don't even know what the heck that is. I don't know who you are. I don't know how important that is. So they don't know that the future of money is being made right now all around them, and they are not a part of that conversation. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm also here to do when I travel the world to speak, to bring us in as a part of the conversation of not even the future of money, but the present of money.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Kalani Cook. I am originally from Chicago, and I now live in Pittsburgh, where I run the largest blockchain community in that city. And I'll give you kind of some background into how I even got into this space. But I've also co-founded a blockchain executive education organization or a company called Distributed 49 with my white male co-founder. And we work out of CMU's Carnegie Mellon University Project Olympus, which is part of their entrepreneurship school. If you don't know, Carnegie Mellon is the #1 computer science school in the country, if not the world. So huge access there, and it's been an amazing journey. I'm so grateful to be sitting next to her because when I first got into blockchain, I actually, like we all did, I'm sure, went down the rabbit hole, and I was trying to figure out what kind of solutions would be great for our community. And of course, she came up. So this is really cool to be sitting next to her. So really quick background, I actually graduated from the Mecca that you sit in today, Howard University.
HU.
You know? Okay, so I graduated with a degree in pre-med because I was going to be a doctor at some point, but you know, life. And so I ended up in tech by accident. My sister's mentor is the head of global marketing at Microsoft, and I happened to be living with her in North Dakota at the time, trying to go back to grad school. There was me and my sister and her son, and they're mostly, honestly, mostly from Africa. And refugees, yeah, mostly. But African Americans, yeah, very far and few between. So anyway, I was there studying to get into grad school, didn't know what I really wanted to do when he suggested to her, she's black and she's a female, tell her to learn the code right now. This was in 2016, so 2 years ago. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. What's 3 months of my life going to a coding boot camp? So I searched coding boot camps, Googled it, found Academy Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. I literally moved 2 weeks later from North Dakota to Pittsburgh to do that boot camp, which was completely free. After 3 months, I was a developer making 6 figures at the Washington Post. And I was like, whoa, the tech just changed my life. Like, what would this do for the rest of my community? Because I've always been very black, like very black. And so all my thoughts are always like, how can this help my community? Like, what can I do for black people? So of course, like time goes on. Anyway, went down the rabbit hole. Blockchain found this amazing thing, and I'm like, this is it. Again, how I found you. Like, this can really revitalize. Like, we're all at the same starting point, which is like, when in history does this get to happen that we get to be a part of like the same starting point with everybody? And so I was like, I have to develop on blockchain. Like, I have to figure this out. And I ended up Googling like Ethereum and found out they had a hackathon in Canada last October, and you had to apply for it. 2,000 people from around the world applied. Only 300 of us got in. I was one of them. I was one of only 12 women, and the only black woman or woman of color in the entire hackathon. So I spent literally 3 days with Vitalik and his whole team learning how to code on Ethereum. Yeah, it was amazing. So that's how I ended up in this space, and I went back to Pittsburgh and was like, I got to start this community. So now I'm like the only black girl who's like got all these white boys like looking at me like, how do we, get in blockchain? So that's what that's what I do now. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. You heard from me yesterday, and we'll hear from me later on today, so I'll make my story quick. I started in public policy, working in San Francisco, really young. Before I graduated, I got to work with City of San Francisco doing special projects under Department of Public Health, Department of Children, Youth, and Families. I then went on to do statewide work around public health, and I was really disillusioned by the craziness that I saw with the nonprofit game and how they would just place with money, like millions of dollars going to programs that were ineffective, not serving our community, and were actually just creating some more of the trauma that we saw. So I started my own social enterprise organization about 5 years ago around public health, and we have a healthcare clinic and all that good stuff. And what does this have to do with blockchain? It's because I did a lot of work with they have some of these like social impact societies and groups which are predominantly white, and they are setting the tone for like what the new economy is going to be and the sharing economy and whatnot. Like, it's the whole SoCap network, if anyone knows about SoCap. So I started dealing with them because I didn't see no people of color. That's how I knew the money was going to be there. And I started bringing all my folks like just into that space, like to diversify that network. And I learned about blockchain and cryptocurrency actually in 2014 because we did a whole like one-day workshop about alternative economies. So I learned about time banking, cryptocurrency. They have like the Buxton Buck or whatever before it got really like popular. And I was like, oh, this looks fun, but it also could be a scam. So that's when Bitcoin was $30 a coin, right? Fast forward to about 2016, I came back into doing tech because that's when I had fully left the public sector, and I was like, I'm not doing the grant rat race. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not asking no one for money. I'm not even doing the investment game. And then I learned about blockchain, and I was like, okay, this is what's really going to help our community. I actually went to a workshop that was hosted by one of the core team members of Ripple, an Asian American woman. I apologize, I can't remember her name right now. And then that's when I really realized, like, oh, this is what blockchain is about to do. We need to get policymakers on this. We need to get the community on this ASAP. So last year, it's been more than a year now that I've actually been hosting economic health fairs. And at those economic health fairs, we first talk about economic trauma, how we've been impacted, what are the different spending habits that we have because of that trauma, and then we actually go into like what is blockchain, what is cryptocurrency, how to invest, and all that good stuff. So I've been doing this for a while because, you know, in the blockchain cryptocurrency space, everyone's like an overnight star right now. There's all kinds of people from everywhere just popping up. I'm like, who are you? But whatever. So no, like we've really been doing the work, period, regardless of blockchain. So we've been doing that in the community. I live in Oakland, and my healthcare center is in West Oakland, in the hood. Like the stroll, the blade, which they call it, where the sex workers go, is right in front of my healthcare clinic. So those are the people that we're working with, really with the folks who really need to know about this the most. So I started Blockchain for Social Justice, and because I was a part of like this women's group, and I was the only black woman, and honestly, I just joined their organization because I was like, my people need to be in this space, and they have access, so let me just, you know, let me be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, basically. I didn't have to deal with them for too long before I just got my own. I was like, you know what, I don't even need to deal with you because I was already established before I started dealing with blockchain. So that's when I started Blockchain for Social Justice, because some of these women's groups are literally, it's just a bunch of white women with different color hair, and where's the diversity? They're not talking about nothing real. Matter of fact, I dealt with more drama with them than the tech bros. And I was like, my people, we need to get on this ASAP. I don't have time to play with you and your insecurities. We need to get this out there. So we hosted the first Blockchain for Social Justice conference. There's folks who are in here who presented at that conference. It was amazing. We had a hackathon. We gave people money. We gave people tokens. They left with wallets. And we're talking about people who are community advocates, the folks who are chaining themselves to bridges. We're talking about folks who are doing direct service, working with our kids. We're talking about our young people who are, you know, in and out of juvenile hall. Those are the folks that came to this conference. And I just felt like it was really beautiful to see all of us gather around money and like really creating really cool projects. So with the Blockchain for Social Justice Consortium, now we're gonna be moving into developing some curriculum that anybody can get access to. If you go on our website, we already have like a huge resource database. You can find stuff from like legal to development resources to how to design your project. So now my thing is I'm moving out of Blockchain for Social Justice, and I'm actually handing it over to a group of folks in the community who are gonna keep that work going. But I'm actually moving more into helping people design projects that are gonna impact our community, and then getting my folks who've been in the community, doing the direct service work, have that expertise in different subjects, getting them advisory positions. So there's so many ways to get engaged in blockchain, specifically as a woman, to build generational wealth for ourselves. Be an advisor, start your own project, start consulting. The great thing about blockchain is you don't have to be a developer to do anything in blockchain. I think that's the main thing that people try to use to keep you out is, oh, you don't know tech. Do you know how I learned about blockchain? Like really, really learned about the mechanics? I took a free course on Coursera, and I took notes. And I kept going back to those notes. And because the way my brain works, whatever, double-edged sword, I was able to develop a really game-tight curriculum to then go and teach people who had no idea about tech. I can teach like grandmas. I get old folks who don't even know how to use their cell phone, wallets and things like that, right? So I'm gonna stop there, but I'm an advisor for 4 different projects, and why I mention this is because I don't know if y'all know how the advisory game goes, but you get a stake of tokens when you become an advisor, and for all the different projects, I'm getting anywhere from like 75 million to like 5 million tokens or whatnot to be an advisor. And I'm not saying that that's the end all be all, but I'm looking at my coin market cap like, oh, this is looking pretty nice for the next couple of years. And how do I want to redistribute that wealth is bringing other people in to be advisors. All the different projects that I'm working on, I brought not just myself, I brought like 2 to 3 other people. So that's how I want to get that's how I'm supporting women being in blockchain.
Yeah.
So in the interest of time, instead of me pitching a question, the only thing I'll have you all consider is if you are a woman in particular, anyone can ask a question, but a woman in particular or a young woman, and you want to know what are the specific steps you need to take, then this is a great time and a great panel to ask those things. There's a wealth of information here.
So we're only taking questions soon, sisters. America. Her name is America.
She raised her hand too.
About the advisory roles, how I was offered, but I was scared of the regulation implications as an American in the. Oh yeah, that'll be great. Okay, so to my understanding, you must have a broker's license to be able to take some of the stake in the tokens of those projects.
No. I'm an advisor too. You don't.
I'm an advisor too.
Yeah, you gotta check the
I'm an advisor
information
as
that you're
well.
getting.
No.
Because you asked me something crazy yesterday too. No, you gotta fact check who's giving you info because the regulation is changing every single day. You know, so I hear that, but no, you don't have to be a broker to be able to receive tokens. Yeah,
Just need a wallet.
yeah.
The wallet, yeah. Exactly.
JB.
Hi. You mentioned earlier a Telegram group. I was wondering what online communities you found useful for women of color in blockchain.
In addition to this one, we have the Shuri group.
Yeah, we have Shuri.
That one has been exceptional as well. Some are super chatty and not helpful, and so you have to be discerning to determine what your bandwidth is to be able to deal with it. But these two in particular have been extremely helpful. There are other broader ones, Women in Blockchain. The Women in Blockchain International, I think they have some helpful information. But Women of Color in Blockchain and the Shuri group have been most helpful to me.
And also, if you're on Facebook, I don't know if you're a member of Wakoinda, but there are definitely some sisters in Wakoinda that are on it. I'm a proud member of Wakoinda. So, so that's also a good place where you might be able to link up with some people and get some information there.
Can I add Kendra Amaruman? She runs the Women in Cryptocurrency. That's a really good group. And then LinkedIn as well. There's many groups.
Sisters, one more? One more?
Good afternoon, ladies. My name is Sequoia Farrakhan, and I actually have been brought into this space because my husband had a very wonderful interest in it 2 years ago, and literally it was like God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, came down and said, this is for you. And so he just really jumped all the way in, and when he's excited, I'm excited. And so we're both pharmacists by degree, so clearly this is complete opposite of the brain, but 100% interested in trying to figure out how pharmacy or healthcare, and I've been seeing a lot over the last couple of years about how folks are trying to bring blockchain into the healthcare space. But certainly, you know, I would obviously look to partner with any of you and try to understand how we can bring some value. And I think that's one of the things I struggle with. And maybe this is the question. How did you know what value you could bring in addition to just learning blockchain, right? So for me as a pharmacist and watching all of this, I'm like, wow, that's interesting, that's interesting, that's interesting. I could learn that, and that. But what really is valuable that I could bring to the table as a pharmacist? And what would be needed along the blockchain? Does that make sense?
The best bet for you is, and this was mentioned earlier about getting out and attending these conferences, you need to attend the conferences because not only are the conferences are just a wealth of information, but they'll open up ideas for you. And you'll be able to see how you can implement the ideas because you can see the technology that's already available to you. And then you can go home and you can start plugging away as how you can use that technology in your idea. We have to start showing up to these conferences because we're not there. And I do know that the conferences tend to be very expensive, but you can pick up the phone and pull your black card. And
Legit.
You can pull your black card, you can call them and be like, hey, I don't see no black people up in there. I'm trying to get up in there. And you can get in these conferences. So that's what you need to be doing, and that will definitely open up the way. And networking is the game in this game. This is all about networking and who you know, and you never know who you're going to run into who can be an instrumental in what it is that you're trying to do or give you some valuable information. So I know a lot of us, you know, especially moms, especially women, you know, we busy and we don't want to come out and, you know, we at the home thing, and now we're on the computer all day. But this is definitely a shift for us to come out and be more public and participate in that way. And this is what you have to do.
You can't afford not to. I want to, after this, put you in touch with two people, Krista McFarland, who founded Patient Tory.
Patient Tory, yeah.
And also Dr. Tiffany Gray, Sampson et al. If you could help me connect her, that will be helpful. And they can help you with some things in the medical and healthcare space that might be very interesting. So we're going to ask each of the ladies to share their contact information, and I thank you in advance for your time and attention for this very important panel. Tavonia, how do they get in touch with you?
Oh, good. I get to beef up my Twitter.
Putting her on the spot. I've been on her about this. Website?
Website is guapcoin.com. My Twitter is Crypto Diva. That's DEEVA. Crypto Diva. So is my Instagram is Crypto Diva. I'm split on Facebook. I'm Tavana Evans / AKA Aquarius Maximus.
I'm not going to write all that down.
Okay,
Go to her
Aquarius
website,
Maximus.
One website,
You
everybody.
remember that one.
I know as a professor, yeah, about the third thing they left. Go ahead.
My site is actually blacktechnation.com. And my Instagram and Twitter are both at Kelani, KELAUNI_J.
Our website is the number 4, sj.com. And my Twitter is Daisies Universe _, and then you can find me on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
That's the best.
Yeah, LinkedIn is dope. Yeah.
Join me in thanking these ladies.